Hi all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new to my channel, do subscribe to it and hit the bell icon to get the regular updates. So today we'll see how to use VLOOKUP function in Excel. Guys, VLOOKUP is one of the most important and highly used Excel function. So it's very important for someone who wants to master Excel and be at the advanced level. It's very important for that person to understand and get the concept clear around the VLOOKUP function as well. So without any further ado, let's jump on to the demo. So as you can see, I already opened the Excel file having some default entries. As you can see here, I have only around 10 odd entries, but in a real world you might not be dealing with such a small data. It's just a sample data for understanding the VLOOKUP function. However, the great usage of VLOOKUP only you'll get to know when you're dealing with thousands of records. So before understanding the formula, first let's understand the data. So here, as you can see, I have three columns. Column A, which is more like a person ID or employee ID basically. The column B is about the gender of that person, and column C is nothing but the name of that employee or a candidate. So if you have a use case where based on some unique entry you want to find corresponding name or anything based on the data, so in that particular case VLOOKUP is used. So VLOOKUP is basically, as the name suggests, vertical lookup. Suppose here based on the sample data that we have here, I just want to find out the name, unique name of a person based on the unique ID of unique ID of the candidate or employee. So in this particular case, I can certainly, since I want in this particular use case I want to look vertically throughout the data, I have to use VLOOKUP function. There is a XLOOKUP function also which assist you to actually look for the horizontal match, but that is something that's not part of this use case. So XLOOKUP will be seen in the next demo. So for this particular case we'll stick to VLOOKUP only. So here, as I told you earlier, I have ID and based on that ID I need to find the name. Now suppose ID, so name, under the name I have to find the unique name. So here I have to use VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is nothing but, as the name suggests, it actually you have to provide 4 parameters to it. One is the lookup value, which value you want to find out. Table array, we'll talk about this table array. Then we have the column index name. So column index number is part of the table array itself. And range lookup. So range lookup is nothing but the boolean value. So VLOOKUP is basically used for the approximate match as well, and even for the exact match as well. So we'll see that one. So here in this particular case my lookup value will be nothing but this ID, which we haven't passed as of now. So suppose for the sake of this particular demo, I'll just give one of the entries from this data itself, so 45. So ultimately when I put the VLOOKUP formula for 45, it should ideally give me a name as a Sunil. So we'll put Sunil. VLOOKUP lookup value is nothing but F2. Okay. Now table array. Since VLOOKUP works on a table array format, it has to, we have to give the range or it can be a range, cell range, or it can be a column entries as well. So in this particular case I just wanted to look throughout the column A to find out the matched name for that one. So in this particular case I'll select from A to C, since C is the final column that I want to get the value of based on the match A. So here A is nothing but my column number 1, B is nothing but column number 2, and C is nothing but my column number 3. So based on this column table array, column index number. So this number is nothing but the column number for which you want the value of. So in this particular case we are looking for a name. So as part of this table array, this is nothing but a third column, right? 1 2 3. So I'll just put 3 after giving the comma. Here as you can see, you have been provided with true and false. So what is true and false? First of all, we'll look for the exact match, then we'll talk about approximate. So here I'll be giving false for the exact match. Now I'll close the VLOOKUP. So as you can see here, VLOOKUP has accepted 3 parameters. First one is nothing but the lookup value, third is the range, or basically the array, and third parameter is nothing but the column that you want to return as a value, as an output, and fourth is nothing but whether it's an exact match or approximate match. For this particular use case we are going with exact match, that's why false. Here in VLOOKUP you can use 0 binary numbers like 0 and 1 as well. So 0 is mostly used for the exact match and 1 is for the approximate match, but for the simplicity of understanding we'll keep false only for now. So the moment I enter, I got the value as Sunil as expected. So this is the behavior of VLOOKUP. Now we'll see whether it is working fine for on typing all the values. So I'll type 12, yes, it's giving the correct value. 24, yes. 45, which we have already seen. 78, yes. 89, 111, 145, my bad, 145, 189, 230, 267. Yeah, so it is working as expected. Now in a case here I'm in a case where, so this is what the benefits we have seen of VLOOKUP. Now there is a disadvantage when it comes to VLOOKUP as well. So we are here only entering the value which are matching, which is one of the values which is present between these particular entities. So in a case where the value is not present, like 23, it's not present, so in this particular case the VLOOKUP will give this sort of an error. So this is how VLOOKUP works. So this is sort of a disadvantage when it comes to VLOOKUP. So to cater this particular one, generally we use IFERROR function, but this particular exercise will only stick to VLOOKUP understanding. But I hope you understand the disadvantage of the VLOOKUP as well. This is one of the disadvantage. We will see the other disadvantage as well down the line. Now so far we have seen the exact match scenario, right? So now let's see the approximate match that we had talked about earlier. True. So in a case where it's exact values, the approximate works exactly like the exact match. However, in a case where if we have a value which is nearest to the entry, in that particular case approximate match is generally used, and generally approximate match is mostly used when you are dealing with a numerical search. So here let's try for 23, for which the exact match was giving error, but 23, let's see what output does it give. So it has given B. So 23 is basically it's between the range of 12 to 24 excluding 24, so that's why it has considered minimum. So the moment I enter 24 here, it will be this one. Same is applicable for this one. So the moment I entered 30, so it has to be same. The moment I entered 44, it's same. The moment I entered 45, now here it should be changing to same. So this is how approximate match works. So in a case where your use case talks about you don't want to go exactly always you don't want to exactly go for the exact match, but you still want to go for the approximate match, then in that particular case you can use this parameter. As I told you, instead of true you can use 1 as well, and it's the same, it's nothing but the binary representation of the boolean values. Now coming to the disadvantage, now what we have seen is how to use VLOOKUP function, which is one of the highly used and one of the important functions in Excel. Now let's understand the disadvantage of VLOOKUP. When you work in Excel, there might be a case where you are working on a number of Excel functions, and the output of one function might be treated as an input for the other, or vice versa. However, in a case, if you have noticed, the VLOOKUP works on a table array format. So here the column that you are looking for as a return value has to be always on a right hand side of the search value. So here I wanted a name as a return value based on the search ID. So that's why we have the ID on the left hand side and name on this side. So we are talking about the disadvantage. So in a case where if you have this particular column at this side, then this VLOOKUP formula won't work. So that's why the value which you need as a return value always has to be on the right hand side of the search value. And again it works on the you always have to pass the column number as part of the range that you are looking the range that we are looking within. So this is the drawback of VLOOKUP function, which is and that's why there is a different function we generally use, which is called XLOOKUP, which will actually which will look into detail in our next tutorial. Thanks for watching.